is going on, guys? Back with Figuring It Out with just me today, just David. So usually you guys know we got the dynamic duo in here. We usually have Victoria in here with me. She is in Nashville, Tennessee for 3 days at a work conference, learning and growing and pushing herself. So she's out there with her team and making sure that she is finding a way to keep moving in life. So I just want to jump on here. Usually our length of our show is anywhere between 25 to 45 minutes, shorter length episodes. This is going to be a short one, maybe 10, 15 minutes. But I just want to jump on here and talk about a couple of subjects that Victoria and I have been running into, some conversations that we have been having a lot in our life lately, some things that we've ran into. And when we get into deep conversations, we're like, man, we should really bring this up on the podcast. So I'm going to take this time. It's like 10 o'clock at night. I just got done with the workout, but I need to put a podcast out this week. So I think this is a perfect time for me to kind of get a little bit deeper and a little bit more serious compared to how Victoria and I usually are, because I do tend to be a little bit deeper in conversations when I'm not with Victoria, and especially because I am definitely more of a hard driver, as most people know. So I wanted to jump into this, but before I do that, real quick, 20 seconds, what is Figuring It Out? Figuring It Out is for a demographic of between 20 to 30-year-old. You could fall outside of that range if you apply as well, but this is really because this is the age that Victoria and I are in. These are the experiences that we've had. We're 25 years old, so from 20 to 25, or even in our late teens till 25, we have been pushing ourselves in most of our boundaries in all areas of our life, and we just want to talk about what we've done, some of the lessons that we've learned, and because we do relate to a lot of people, and we want to just give you guys some advice on how we've gone through life. So again, disclaimer, we're not experts, we're not billionaires, but for what we have done, we just want to relay a little bit just so you guys know that we are in the same place as everybody else, and give some advice on how we've gotten through some of the things that we have. So today, what are we talking about? Two things. One, getting uncomfortable. Why are we not getting uncomfortable more often? How to get uncomfortable more often. And then number two, relatability. What comes with getting uncomfortable is you're probably not going to relate to a lot of people if you're pushing yourself in areas of your life. So let's jump into it. You probably find yourself down, maybe have anxiety, you feel a little bit off, and that's because you are not channeling the things that you should be, and you're putting off the things that you know you should be doing, thus equaling that uncomfortableness that you know that you should be leaning into, and that's causing those feelings of anxiety of, if you want to call it depression or whatever it might be. I've been through this before, and as a business owner, I feel this a lot because although I strive to be a high performer, there are things I put off, and because of that, it affects me in the way I feel. My high performance days, my low performance days, usually my low performance days are tied to me putting things off that I shouldn't be putting off. So that's the first stage of uncomfortableness, is just doing the things that you know you should be doing. If you can do that, you're already beating 90 to 95% of people, because most people put off the things that they don't want to do. Now, how has that affected Victoria and I in life? Well, we wouldn't have what we have if we didn't put ourselves in uncomfortable situations. At 18 years old, 19 years old, having to keep a 4.0 scholarship while working as a full-time manager in retail and trying to open a business. I was 19 years old. I was trying to negotiate a lease with dudes that are 40 and 50 years old who were leasing managers of billion-dollar companies. Me, I was a fucking pipsqueak. If I look back, I probably said some stupid shit that I had no clue what I was talking about. But I put myself in uncomfortable situations, and because of that, I learned and I grew from that. So you have to get comfortable, guys, with being uncomfortable. When you know there is something that you should be doing, for example, if you're going through some issues in your relationship, if you're going through some issues with family, if there's some maybe things at work, maybe it's your health and your fitness, and you're uncomfortable, you have to lean into that. If you don't lean into it, you're only going to continue to build anxiety and build that feeling of pressure, of depression, because there's no outlet. The whole point of leaning into something that's uncomfortable is to allow yourself to live the life that you should be living. Thus, that expunges that depression or that anxiety. There has to be an outlet, and you're not giving yourself an outlet to express those things. there was something that my coach, a good friend of our, Chad, and he made a post which really like out of all the posts he's made recently resonated the most, which was you have two uncomfortables, two areas of being uncomfortable, or two choices, should I say. You can be uncomfortable where you're at. Let's just take health and fitness, for example. You're uncomfortable with the way you look, the way you feel, the way, when you take your clothes off, when you look at yourself in the mirror, when you're in groups of people. That's uncomfortable. You're not comfortable in your skin. That's choice one. Well, you got choice two. You're uncomfortable tracking macros, eating the right foods, going to the gym. You are going to have to pick your uncomfortable. And that's a choice that you make. And so you can pick the uncomfortableness of working out. You can pick the uncomfortableness like today, got up at 4 a.m., dropped Victoria off at LAX at 5:30, worked all day, came home, edited videos, did meetings, still went to the gym at 9 o'clock. That was my uncomfortableness. It was like, I did not want to go to the gym. I could have made any excuse. Oh, I don't want to put the dogs in their kennels, or I don't want to leave them at home by themselves, or, I got more videos to edit. Fuck that, dude. I have to lean in my uncomfortableness. And for me right now, it was working out. That's what it was today. I'm exhausted. Just right now, I didn't want to edit this video. Is that going to move me forward if I don't do it? If I don't film this video? No, it's not going to move me forward. I have to lean into that uncomfortableness. So that's number one, guys, is you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And there's some contradiction in that statement, because it will never get comfortable being uncomfortable. And I can promise you that. It will never get more, or it'll never get easier. When I opened up our business and we did our grand opening, and the weekend before we did a free open gym, and there's 300 people there, and I was just rocking and rolling, blah, 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 this and that. I was jamming. And then grand opening day comes. I'm cutting the ribbon in front of our facility. And there's like fucking like 10, 15 people out there, dude. There was like nobody. No support, nothing. And I was so uncomfortable because I had never opened a business before. And it was difficult to get out there and give a speech to like 10 or 15 people, because I was a little depressed that there was like barely anybody supporting us, which is okay because it was the beginning. But that was uncomfortable for me. I'd never opened a business before. I'd never cut a ribbon, right? Grand opening. Fast forward, we had our 4-year anniversary last month, right? Hundreds of people. We go take the drone shot. I don't know, 80, 100 people looking at me. And I have to give a little speech, a talk. We announced our new facility. Was that uncomfortable? Hell yeah, dog. My arms were sweating and my butt cheeks were sweaty. I was like, damn, I am nervous as hell. But I have to lean into that uncomfortableness. I can't expect Victoria to do it. Can't expect Larissa to do it. Can't expect my mom to do it. Can't expect my friends to do it. I have to do it. Because guess what? If I don't, I'm going to have anxiety or feelings, pent up emotions of like, damn, I didn't follow through. I didn't do what I was supposed to do. Because leading up to that, I knew what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to lead all of these people. I'm supposed to be opening a new facility, pushing my boundaries. And if I don't do that, then I just feel worse and worse every day. So I'll leave it there with number one, with uncomfortableness. And just understand it never gets easier. Number two, relatability. This is really, really big, dude. This one might take a couple of minutes. You are never going to be relatable to other people. Now, situations, yes. But what I'm saying is that feeling inside where you're at work and you're busting a fucking 12-hour day, you're busting, a 16-hour day, or even like our homie Kane, he just busted a 40-hour day. You're never going to feel relatable. And guess what? Get used to it. You're never going to feel relatable. We always put ourselves in this higher position comparing to other people, when in reality, that's not how it is. We always think that we're working harder than other people. We always think that we're unrelatable in our relationships, in our life, and blah, 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 blah. Dude, someone has had it way worse than you have, and they've done way fucking more than you have. That's what keeps me grounded. And I can't remember who it was that I listened to a podcast probably when I was like 18 or 19 years old. I believe it was a UFC fighter. And he was born into poverty. And this kid at the age of 16 and 17, he bought like a hot dog cart. And he was selling hot dogs and fruit out of this cart on the side of the road, like a 17-year-old kid. Mom couldn't afford to feed him, didn't have a father in the picture, had to look out for his younger siblings, right? And then he got to the point where he was in business and he was a UFC fighter. It was like, dude, people come from worse and make better out of it. So when you don't think that you're relatable, that's just not true. Now there's another side to that, which is it's again a contradiction, which is no one will ever relate to you. You will always be unique in your own way. The way you go about things, your personality, the way you handle situations. That way you won't be relatable. But when it comes down to moving forward in life, someone has already done what you've done. One of my favorite quotes that Andy Frisella had said maybe like a year or two ago, and you guys know I'm a huge fan of his, was, and this is something that resonated with me because I was getting the idea, like right now it's 10 o'clock at night, I didn't really want to record a podcast because I'm pretty beat. And he was like, the best things in the world were created by people who were tired. And I was like, damn. I don't know why that hit with me. For whatever reason it did. Which was, I always thought, like, dude, I'm, 19 years old, 20 years old, 21 years old, especially back when I was 20. And we had just opened the gym, and I was opening the gym at 5:50, 6 o'clock in the morning, and I would close at 11 o'clock, more like midnight most days. I was working 20 hours a day, getting 4 hours of sleep after I showered, got home, made food. And I was asleep from like 12:30 in the morning to 4:30 in the morning, And I felt, fuck, dude, no one understands where I'm at. But I can tell you one thing. I'm sure there's people out there who work harder than I do. And they're probably in way worse situations than I was. I had a house that I was under. I had hot water. I had food I could cook. I had a good support system around me. There's probably people who work 20-hour days and they live in a car and they're homeless. They don't have any family to call on. They have no money in their pockets. But they're probably going to make it farther than I am. Or maybe they have. So again, your scenario is technically isolated to you. It's unique to you. But in terms of relatableness, someone has gotten farther with a worse situation than what you're in. And that's a perspective that I had to come to the realization is that people work a fuck ton harder than I do. And that keeps a fire lit under my ass. Because it makes me realize that as much as I do in my business at home, whatever it might be, there's someone out there working harder than I am. It's just how it is. So again, I'll just do a 2-minute recap for you guys. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. You have to lean into the hard shit. You have to. You have to lean into the things you don't want to do. Leave your job if you fucking hate it. Leave your relationship if you know it's not working. Tell that family member how you really feel if they've been disrespecting you. You have to lean into that because as soon as you lean into that, that pressure is all gone off of you. You guys have seen, I've been posting more stuff on my Instagram about what the fuck is going on in our world right now. And guess what? I get unfollowed for it. I don't give a fuck. Because you know why? Because that's just my beliefs. That's what I think. And I care about people. And what's going on in our world is fucked up. And there might be 1 or 2 people who take it the wrong way. But dude, you know what? It makes me feel a hell of a lot better every single day that I know I'm not hiding behind it. Cool. Number 2, relatability. You are unique in your own way, but your situation, the depth of the difficulty of your situation is not as bad as what you think it is. And this is something that I have to remind myself. I work on this every day. And you can ask Victoria. She helps me struggle through this stuff because I still think that when something happens, the fucking world burned down. And Victoria's like, dude, you're being a pussy. And it kind of regrounds me. So just remember that. If you guys want to move forward in life, this podcast, this specific episode will most likely resonate with people who want to move forward in their lives. Who don't want to be in the same position, the same pay scale, the same shitty relationship, the same shell they're always in. This is not going to relate to those people. This is going to be for those people who want to get better in life, become more successful, become a better person, give back more. This is the podcast. This is the episode for you. And if you want to move forward, these are just things that I've learned. If you want to move forward, you have to do these things. And if you don't, then you have to live with the decision. Again, you're either going to have to live with the decision of you being uncomfortable where you're at, or live with the decision of being uncomfortable in new situations that you learn you grow from. And you just have to be okay with those decisions. So I'll leave it right there with you guys. Victoria will be back for our podcast next week. We appreciate you guys a lot, for real. Our lives would not look the way they do if it weren't for you guys. So thank you. We gained a good amount of subscribers. When I say good amount, we gained like 40 subscribers over the last week. That's fucking awesome, guys. We have the vlogs posted now on our YouTube. Excited to put more content up there. If you guys like this shit, man, like it, comment, do what you want. Tell us in person you like it. Tell us what you guys want to hear, if you want to hear more, or specific scenarios you might be going through in life that Victoria and I can touch on. Let us know. But thank you guys. We appreciate you guys. And we'll see you guys next week. Peace.